In this video, we are going to look at how to do Excel Module 7 SAM Project 1A. And let's look at project step number 1. All right. So here, the first step, we go to Candidates Worksheet, insert a Smartart graphics using continuous picture list. Okay, so we're going to Candidates Worksheet, done. And we're going to create a Smartart. So insert, then you should be able to see that somewhere under illustrations grouping, Smartart. Right now, your buttons may look slightly differently at the top because I have reduced the width of my window here. So you may see this without clicking on illustrations, right? So just click on Smartart, find Smartart button, and then click on it. And then we're going to go to Picture. And we're going to look at continuous. That is this one right here, continuous picture list. Now this is what we're going to use. Select it, click OK, and then we have it there. So that is the first step. And then we are going to go to the second step, using support files available. So from SAM, you should have got some support files. So we're going to use that support files to add some pictures to these circles here. Okay, so we're going to click on this small button here. Go ahead and click on it. And then I'm going to say from file. I have already downloaded this from SAM, MindTap, from file, and then I have it in my downloads. So the first one is going to be baseball.png. It should have the exact same name. So if you have downloaded multiple times, you may have like one added to the end. So just make sure you select the original file. So I'm going to go and select this, click insert, and the next one is going to be basketball, this one, and the next one is going to be baseball, which is, oh no, soccer, this one. And that is the second step. And the third step is add text to Smartart graphic to identify merger candidates. So that's over here. We're going to say Prime Sports, and then Tony Brown for the second one. And the third one, North Side. So that's step number 3. Moving on to step number 4, change the format of the Smartart graphic to coordinate with the Sports Center's logo. So change the color to colorful range, accent color 5 to 6. So colors are shown in the Smartart styles grouping. So right over here, you have change color option. And then we're going to say colorful. So that's your tip. So that's what you're looking for, colorful keyword that you're looking for. And then it's going to be 5 to 6, the last one over here. So just hover over it, and then you will see this tooltip. It says accent colors 5 to 6 as shown in the instruction, and then click. All right, so next one is white outline Smartart style. So that's in this option. So here, if you just hover over there, this is simple fill. This is white outline. I'm going to apply that. Done. So that is step number 4. Moving on to step number 5, update Smartart graphics as follows to include 4th merger candidate. So we're going to add one more candidate here. So the easy way to do that is to go and either you can add a shape here, that's one option, or you can click over here and press enter. That will also add another one. So I'm going to use add shape option here. I'm going to click add shape. Make sure you have selected this. This shows only when you have selected this Smartart graphic, otherwise you will not see this. Now let's go and add shape. It's going to add another shape here. So here we're going to add the other picture we have, which is volleyball. And then we're going to give that a name. So this is going to be Stillman Sports. All right, so that is step number 5. Moving on to step number 6, improve appearance of candidate worksheet as follows. Move the Smartart graphics so that its upper left corner is within the cell B3. So just go and click on this. So you can click outside and click on it. And then we're going to adjust this so that this corner is over here. Right, so let's adjust this. You can click on this small button here to close that, so that is gone, and it comes back. Don't worry. Close that, and then use this tag handle, rather sizing handle here, to move this to B3. So this has to be in B3, somewhere in B3, inside B3. It doesn't have to align with the edge of the cell, just inside it. Okay, and the next one, we're going to also select this handle here, and this should be in J5. So J is here, sorry, J15. J15 is somewhere here. So you can see that the corner is in J15. All right, so B3, this corner, J15, this corner. All right, so we have done that. And now the next option is remove the worksheet grid lines. So you can do that by going to View and uncheck grid lines. That will remove the grid lines at the back, and then it looks nice. All right, so that is step number 6. Moving on to step number 7. Go to Transpose worksheet, which is the next worksheet, and then arrange the data as follows. Copy the range I3 to N8, which is from here, I3 to N8. You can copy that. So you can just say Control C to copy, right? Or you can, in the Home tab, you can use copy option over here. So we can use one of these. Okay, I'm just going to select copy, and then I'm going to click on B3. Now, when you're pasting it, you need to paste the range into cell B3, transposing. So that is something you need to do. You're not going to paste exactly as it is. You have to transpose the data. That means you're going to make the rows to column, columns to row. So you do that by paste special option. So right click, and then you have an option called transpose here. So you can see that it switched the columns to row and rows to columns, right? So that's called transposing. So select transpose. So Q1 is a column here, Q1 is a row here. All right, so we're done with step number 7. Now then you have to delete this. As a part of it, delete the contents of range I3 to N8, delete. You select it and press the delete key in your keyboard. Okay, or you can also delete using the option here. You just say delete contents or clear all. Should do the trick. Moving on to step number 8. So Prime Sports Center has provided the sales data for the last 5 years in a Word table. So this Word table you should be able to download from Sam. I have already downloaded it. So let's quickly open that. So I have it over here. I'm going to double click. So this is the data that we need to copy, right? So just make sure you enable, if you have an option, if it says you cannot copy, that's probably because you have not enabled content, and then you can always go back to the print layout. Okay, So from the print layout, I'm going to copy the first 6 columns. Okay, so I'm gonna click and drag and select all those data, and then I'm gonna right click and copy. So copy the data there, and now I'm gonna paste it back into my Excel worksheet. So when I'm pasting it over here, I'm pasting it in B11, right click, and then make sure you select the match destination formatting option, which is the second one. Do not use this one, then it's going to look differently. We're going to use match destination formatting. So that is going to keep the formatting that you already have here, and just paste the data into it. All right, so that is step number 8. Moving on to step number 9. Use the format painter to copy the formatting of the range B11 to G16, which is this one, B11 to G16. We highlight it and then use the format painter. Okay, so what this is going to do is it's going to copy the formatting only from this area. So click it once. If you click it twice, then it'll allow you to, paint multiple items. So if you're just going to use this once, just click it once. So here we are going to select B3 to B8. And that's going to just take the formatting there and apply it over here. All right, that is step number 9. Step number 10, Tony Brown Sports Center provided sales data for the last 5 years in text file. So let's go to Tony Brown. So we need to get the text file. So text file, I have already opened it. So I'm going to go to my documents, downloads folder, where I have downloaded the text file from Sam. Okay. So like this, it's right over here. Double click on that, and then that's the text file. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to import it. So that's what is required by the instruction. It says import data from this particular text. So to do that, we are going to select B3. This is where we want the text, the data to be pasted. So I'm going to say data, and then get data from a file. So in this case, it's going to be text file. Okay, I'm going to select text, and I'm going to select that file that I downloaded from Sam, TonyBrown.txt, ending with that. Just make sure you have not renamed it, or it's not changed because you downloaded multiple items. Just make sure it exactly matches this file name. Select, import, and then now this dialog has changed a bit. Now before, in the previous versions of Word, it had entirely different dialog. So if you're using a previous version of Word, older version of Word, you might see a different dialog here, right? So you need to find and ensure that there is an option where you say that the data has headers. You just have to select it. Now this form doesn't give you that option. And then also select that the data is delimited by a comma. Okay, so I have selected comma here. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on this arrow here next to load, and then select load to. Now here it asks you to load what? How do you want to view this data? I'm going to say in a table. I'm going to actually put the data in the existing worksheet. okay, in B3, right? So that's where I'm going to put the data, and I'm going to click OK. So when I click OK, it's going to bring the data in and then load it here. Okay, now it does create a connection, so it brings up this queries and connection pane. I'm going to close this. So you notice that this data is pasted here as a table. It's formatted as table. So we don't need a table here. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to the table design, and then we're going to convert it to range. Okay, so click convert to range. Just make sure you select anywhere here. You should see this table design, and then you're going to convert it to range. Okay, so accept that, click OK. So this is now a range. Now next thing we are going to do here is we're just going to copy the formatting from this table and then paste it over here, just like what we saw before, because when we imported it just messed up the formatting we had here. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to use my formatting painter, click once, and then I'm going to highlight this part here so that the formatting is done nicely. Okay, so we have the formatting set up, right? Now let's go and do the rest of it. So we've done step number 10, going into step number 11. Organize the historical data in Tony Brown worksheet as follows. Convert the text to column. Use the convert text to column wizard to convert the text in the range B12, B15, which is this one. We're going to convert it because Q1 should be in this column, and then this part should be in 2016 column. Okay, so to do that, we're going to go back to data, and then we have an option called under data tools called text to column. Okay, so that splits a single column of text into multiple columns. So we're gonna click. It is delimited. The only delimited it is delimited by space here. So it is delimited. Click next, and then I'm going to uncheck the tab. I'm going to select space. So you can see that when I do that, it splits that into two different columns. And I'm going to click next. So I'm going to accept all of that and click finish. It's asking that there is already data here. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I'm going to confirm that. And then it splits that and then moves it over here. Okay, so that is step number 11. And then we have to do one more thing. Change the width of columns B to G to 12 characters. So B is here. I'm going to select it, click and hold and drag so that I select all the columns from B to G. Once I do that, I can right click on the column header. Make sure you're right clicking on the column header and then select column width. And then I'm going to say 12.0 and press OK. So that fixes the width. And then now it's consistent with the others we have here. So there's a bit of a problem with the underline here, the line here. So we can easily fix that by selecting this, go to home, select format painter. I'm going to highlight all of that so that I get that. So it's consistent with the one before. Okay, so we're done with step number 11. Moving on to step number 12, add totals to historical data as follows. Where is historical data? That's over here. So we're just going to sum them up. So it's pretty easy to sum them up. So what you do is you click over here, C16, go and click on sum in editing option in home tab. And when you do that, when you click on that, it's going to select 2016 as well. So we don't want that to sum 2016 add that as part of this one. So we're going to reselect. So while it is showing that it's going to select from C11 to C15, you can just select again, click and drag. So it should be C12 to C15. You can even type that in and then press enter. So that gives you the sum of 2016, and we're gonna use the fill handle. You can see that the small handle in the corner, bottom right hand corner, is the fill handle. We're gonna click and drag it to the right. So with that, we are done with step 12. Now moving on to step number 13, so north side. To make north side worksheet consistent with other worksheet, go to the north side worksheet and replace all the instances of word quarter with the letter Q. So we have quarter here, so we don't have to change that one by one. Instead, we can use find and replace. So in home tab, you have an option find. In editing grouping here, you should be able to see replace option. So here I'm going to find quarter and then replace it with Q, right? And I'm going to say replace all. Okay, so this normally is done. If you can go expand that and see that it's only searching within the current worksheet. You can even make it search within the entire workbook, that is the entire file. So I'm going to leave that as it is. So don't worry about this. It should work fine. So replace all. It says that we made 4 replacement, all done. Okay, so you can see that it changed that to Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. It's all good. Click OK. And let's click close here. So that is done. Moving on to step number 14. To help analyze the north side historical data, select the range C12 to G15 and apply a data bar. Conditional formatting. So this is for north side. So we're going to select C12, which is this one, to G16, which is G15, which is up to here. And then we're going to apply data bar. Now, these data bars you will find under conditional formatting, right? So select C12, G6, G15, and then you go to conditional formatting, and then select data bar. And we want a solid fill, and then the option there is blue data bar. So it's solid fill over here, blue data bar. Okay, and then apply it. You can see that it kind of nicely keeps you a visual of the performance there for those different quarters. Okay, moving on to step number 15. Now in this one, we are going to make the bar chart in the North Revenue Chart worksheet, which is the next worksheet. We're going to change the chart style to style 3. So let's go and look for, so the chart is already selected. If you've not selected, it should you should select it. And then we're going to change it to style 3, which is this one. Okay, so change it to style 3 so it looks much better. And then format the data series to vary colors by point. So we want to format the data series. If you want to format the data series, if you're not sure where to find it, just try double right clicking on it. So when you right click, right mouse button, you have an option format data series. That's what they want to change. So click on it. And then you can see that you have multiple series options here. So I'm going to select the very first option, which is fill and line. Now there's a fill option, expand that. And then if you go all the way down, you see that vary colors by point. So that's what we're going to use. So check that, and then it gives different colors for different points there. Okay, so that's step number 15. You can close this one. And then we'll move on to step 16. The Stillman Sports Center provided sales data in an Access database in cell B11 of Stillman worksheet. Import data from sales table. Okay, so we have Stillman here, and then we need to import data that is provided in another file. So this time this is a database, another Access database. It's an Access database, not a worksheet. So we're going to use import again. So go to data and then get data from database. So this is an Access database. Now it supports different types of database here, all of these type of databases. We're going to select from Microsoft Access database. And then this is the file I downloaded from Sam. Just make sure the name matches exactly. Select it, click import. And then you can see that it opens up in this dialog. Now, if you're using different version of Excel, it will look very much differently, right? So this new versions thinks they have changed this. So I'm going to select sales here. Okay, I'm going to select sales. So that is the only worksheet we have inside this database. We're going to select sales, and then we are going to put this data into B11. Okay, so we're going to click load to again, and then we're going to put it in the existing worksheet B11. Okay, click OK, and then you have that data imported. Now again, just as we saw before, we need to remove the formatting. It has been formatted as a table. We're going to convert it to range. Okay, so that's what we're doing next. So if you have selected anywhere within the table, you will see that we are in the table design tab. Now we are going to convert this table to a range. So by clicking on this button. Okay, so it says this will permanently remove the query definition from the sheet. Continue. Yes, go ahead, say yes, say okay. And once you're done that, we'll format this. Now it just doesn't look well, just like the previous one, which is we won't make it consistent. So we're gonna select columns B, click and drag to the right. And then we're going to change the width of these columns to 12. All right. And then we're going to apply accounting number format to C4 to G8. So which is this one, C4 to G8. We're going to apply accounting number format. Right. Click on this. So that's accounting number format. And then we are going to remove the decimal places. So we don't want the 2 decimal places, should be 0 decimal places. So I'm going to click on this button, decrease decimal 2 times, 1, 2. You can see that removed the decimal places there. All right. So we have done with 17C. And then using the format pointer, copy the formatting in B2 to G8. So this is B2 to G8, the entire range. We're going to use format painter to copy the formatting, and then we're going to apply it to the historical sales. So that looks consistent with the data above. So we're done with step number 17D, moving on to step number 18. And to analyze Stillman Sports Center sales in 2020, create the chart as follows. Okay, so let's do that. So we are in Stillman worksheet still for the range B3 to F7. So just make sure you have selected that exact range. You're not selecting totals, just the from B3 to F7. And then we're going to create a clustered bar chart. So we can go to Insert, and then we're going to use column or bar chart option, and then select clustered bar chart. So clustered bar chart is right over here. So it says, if you just hover over it, it should say the name of this chart, clustered bar chart. So I'm going to click to confirm. So I have a clustered bar chart there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to move the bar chart to its own worksheet. So now it's actually in the Stillman worksheet as an object. We want to move it to its own worksheet. So to do this, we are going to select the chart. And when you select the chart, you have this option, Chart Design menu. And from there, the last option in that menu is Move Chart. I'm going to click on that and then select New Sheet. And here we are going to give the name specified in the instruction exactly as shown there. So this sheet is named as 2020 Stillman. Just be careful about the spelling. If you get the name wrong, Mind tab, when you upload it, it might say that you did not complete the task. Okay, so it's 2020 Stillman chart without period. There should not be any period there. Click OK. So that's going to move the chart. So we move the chart from that worksheet, which we were before, from this worksheet to this. It created a new chart. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, 18C, is the move 2020 Stillman worksheet after Stillman worksheet. We're going to move 2020 Stillman chart worksheet after Stillman worksheet. So we're going to click and just drag it next to Stillman, just like that, and drop. Okay, so we just click and drag and drop after Stillman so that the chart comes at the end. Now, finally, the last step, step number 19, to coordinate the new chart with the north side revenue chart, make the following changes. Change the chart style to style 3. So style 3 is this one here. The chart is already selected. You are in the chart design. Select the third style. That is style 3. And add primary horizontal axis title using sales as a title. So you can do that by add chart, axis title. We want primary horizontal. Select it. And then here, we're going to call this sales. And click outside. So you have added that axis title. And then 19C, use Stillman Sports Center as a chart title. So we'll do that as well. So this is going to be Stillman Sports Center is the chart title. All done. All right, now it is done. Just make sure your worksheet matches the screenshots given in your instructions, and make sure these worksheets are in this order. Okay, and everything perfectly matches. And once you have confirmed that, you can upload to MindTap or SAM. Good luck.